welcome to my channel, Lazy Cat Reactions. If you are just cruising by, you saw this react to Eve of the Daleks, welcome. I really hope that you enjoy this. If you are one of my regular subscribers, thank you so much for coming back. I am glad, of course, to have you here as always. For those of you regarding Doctor Who, you'll see that I don't do a lot. I mainly just do the specials. I may end up changing that, depending on what happens with the next Doctor, stuff like that. But for the majority of the seasons, I'm actually sitting and watching them live as they happen. And generally my SO is with me. And so, of course, I don't want to record when he's here, at least, since he doesn't really want to be on camera. The specials are a little different because, especially when it's on like New Year's or something, because I can record them and watch them later. So that, of course, is what I'm doing. As we know with Jodie Whittaker, she is regenerating in the fall of this year, 2022. So this New Year's special, Eve of the Daleks, is the first of 3 specials with her. The next one will be around Easter, which has the Sea Devils, I believe. And then, of course, the Sanctuary, Centauri episode in the fall for the BBC's 100th anniversary. And then, of course, that's when she will regenerate. And they have not yet announced a 14th Doctor, but obviously, there's speculation. Is it going to be a man? Is it going to be a woman? Personally, I want it to go back to being a man. I personally, although I've loved Jodie as a Doctor, I think that the experiment of a female Doctor has failed. The ratings show that, sadly, which is why, of course, they brought Russell T Davies back to try to save the show. My personal choice for the 14th Doctor would be Tom Ellis. And I say that because he was phenomenal as the lead character of Lucifer. And he has been on Doctor Who because he was in the season 3 finale. He was the character that Martha Jones was engaged to when we saw Martha in season 4. Those two apparently got together and got engaged, but then of course she dumped him for Mickey. And the Doctor never really got to meet him, so if he would regenerate into him, there would have to be some sort of backstory, but they're good about doing that. But Tom Ellis has the range. Lucifer has ended, sadly, so he is available. And I just think he would bring so much character and depth. And then, of course, you'd have, the little Lucifer jokes. Like if he has to chase after Yaz or something, he could yell, "Detective!" which, as everyone knows who watches Lucifer, was like an ongoing running gag. So he could do that. When he regenerates, you could kind of see his eyes flash red for a moment. That Doctor can maybe be darker or something. So my personal choice for the 14th Doctor, of course, is Tom Ellis. I think they should return to a man because, sadly, I think the female Doctor has failed, no matter how much I have loved seeing Jodie. And I know people are going to disagree, and you're probably going to try and be keyboard warriors and tell me how I'm wrong. But you know what? It's everyone's opinion, and we all have a right. And before you say, well, it didn't fail, you kind of have to look at the ratings. And it's not Jodie's fault. Definitely not. Definitely not her fault. It's more Chibnall's fault. But the sad fact is, because they went with a female Doctor, that did turn some Whovians off. And so some Whovians just decided, the Doctor should not be female, And now, of course, we've seen the Ruth Doctor, played by Jill Martin, and she's pretty badass. But again, for those who maybe were on the fence about a female Doctor, that might have made them say no, especially because we've had basically 13 incarnations of a male, and then all of a sudden it switches to female. If they had done something where he was male and then regenerated and female and then regenerated back to male, and maybe had like 2 male and then 2 or 3 females, it would be a lot different. It would be, I think, a lot more acceptable because people would know to expect it. But having 13 incarnations of the Doctor, because we are including the War Doctor, having 13 incarnations of the Doctor, and then all of a sudden switching it to a woman to checkmark a box, yeah, that has pissed people off. And although I love Jodie and I'm happy we have a female Doctor, I do see the propaganda behind it. And I don't want to hear anything from the keyboard warriors. I am going to be monitoring comments, and if there are any comments I don't like, you are getting nuked. Just be aware. I don't want to hear anything from keyboard warriors talking about how I'm wrong and blah, blah, blah. This is all an opinion, but it's also an opinion based on facts and numbers I've seen in regards to ratings. So sadly, Jodie is an experiment, I think, that failed. And the BBC knows that. That's why they're bringing RTD back, because they are suffering and they know it, and they're trying to do what they can to save the show. Anyways, I have ranted enough. So this is Eve of the Daleks, again, the 2022 New Year's special. Don't know too much about it. I do know that they're in some sort of time loop, so it looks like it's going to kind of be like a Groundhog Day type of scenario, which I think is going to be fun to see. And, the Daleks, of course, are always fun and entertaining to watch. Let's get started. Eve of the Daleks.
But that's a board game.
Yes.
Okay, so here's the Groundhog Day loop.
You okay?
Yeah, are you okay?
Not sure. I feel like I've just had this
Please.
The remembering. That's
Most
different.
places have
Access codes, yes, I know, please go on.
Ooh. Yeah, the
Sorry.
remembering.
Sorry, just a bit
Bitchy?
spaced out. Been working too hard.
I'll go to my unit.
Yes, you will. You will.
See you next year.
Oh, we're practicing that.
So I like the time loop. That woman, Sarah, is a real bitch. And I get it. She doesn't want to work New Year's Eve, but Jesus Christ, woman. It's like, your life ain't that bad. You have a job. You have a nice cell phone. She must have just broken up with some guy named Jeff or whatever, but it's like, stop being a cranky bitch. Jeez. So I don't know if she's going to last. But again, I do like this little time loop that they're going through. Of course, different from Groundhog Day, because in Groundhog Day, the only one who knew anything different was going on was, of course, Bill Murray. And these guys all seem, well, so far these two seem to be remembering that they had just said these words and everything. So I'm wondering how that's going to play out, as the episode goes on. Not too much, of course, that we've seen from the trio, but then there wouldn't be much because we're only 11 minutes in. So far it's starting off well. And I know a lot of people prefer the Christmas specials to the New Year's specials, but honestly, I like the New Year's specials because I think more things should be said at New Year's Eve and New Year's Day because it is a major holiday and, it's fun and it gives you hope. So yeah, I like that it's set at New Year's and that you're about to see them ring in 2022. Continue. Here we go.
Where's the beach?
Why would she need her jacket on the beach? Chibnall is not the best writer. During Flux, my favorite episode was Village of the Angels. And he had written it, but he co-wrote it. And that one I thought was really well done, especially the ending. No spoilers in case you haven't seen it. But I think the reason why that one was better was, again, because he co-wrote it. He wasn't the single writer. As I said, Chibnall is not that great of a writer. And Flux, there were some parts of Flux that I liked. Overall, my general opinion of Flux was it was meh. And so far, Eve of the Daleks is starting off that way, but it might be better. Because obviously we got a lot to go through. I should go back and check. I didn't particularly love Resolution of the Daleks, but I did like Revolution a lot more. I think a main factor of that was attributed to Jack Harkness returning. So I got to enjoy seeing Jack again. But again, it's like, sadly he's not in Eve of the Daleks, so I can't look forward to him. Doesn't mean someone else doesn't show up. Maybe someone else will. Maybe we'll see Ruth again. Anyways, let's go.
Surrender. There is no escape. Daleks are patient. I will wait.
Show me that. What's wrong with that? That's what I was worried about. What were you worried about? I'm working. How did you think you were going to did that for you.
Nick, why have you got all those names on the shelves?
They're just his girlfriends. Yeah.
Aww. Way to go, bitch! No. Oh, no.
Take me.
No!
Take me. Just let him go.
Try to reason with it.
You're right. This is all my fault.
What?
You wouldn't be here if it wasn't for me. So you can let him go.
Way to go, bitch! That's on you!
He's in the house. He's in the house for me. For me, but it's not his fault. It's oh my. You're the aunt. What the?
Don't answer your damn phone!
We'll all be busy at midnight. No, they won't. Goodbye.
Shut it off!
What to do now? You know, I said there's always another way out. Yeah, there isn't. Solid concrete walls, thick ceilings. Take a long time to resonate through those. And nothing of any use in here unless you want to play Monopoly. Our resources in defeating the. Very persistent, your darling.
He's got an iron in the ski.
We do. But again, let's go. Except we'll have less time. Either way, the loop repeats, time repeats, so we need to be the variation. We need to be.
Yes, kitty, I hear you.
Guess what we're gonna do next? Next time. Congratulations. The most evil creature in the universe has successfully vanquished an old door.
Silent. Trapped. Doctor.
Not trapped. Never trapped. You won't win. You never win.
Incorrect. Exterminate.
So, Sarah was a class A bitch there about what she said about Nick. And I like how Yaz and Dan don't even know him and they're defending him. You know, how he's like a bit harsh and she's like, and Yaz is like, he's standing right there. I thought that was nice, that they were kind of trying to give him some sympathy and everything. And then him just kind of sacrificing himself. Maybe he thought, I'll come back. Maybe he thought I won't come back. I don't know. But, he's to sacrifice himself like that is quite unnerving because it's like, Nick, granted, of course, if he didn't sacrifice himself, that'd be different. But you're going to sacrifice yourself. Don't you have family or anything? You're going to do it for this woman who is clearly a bitch that you like, but who's clearly a bitch and just was really mean to you. Like, that doesn't really make sense. But then maybe that's to show the content of his character, that he's just really sweet.
The entire universe last week. I think I owe you one.
Last week.
Look after each other.
Look at him going and stepping up to the plate more than Yaz ever did.
Sorry you got killed, you know. But you should not have done that.
Identify.
Alright, mate. Are you new here?
I arrived 1.93 rails ago.
Yeah, well, I've got some stuff I need storing. I just wanted to see what was available.
Daleks do not store stuff.
You're in the wrong job then, aren't you? Alright, some kind of automated stuff. What does this mean?
Guest do not approach.
I get a friendlier voice though. This one's a little bit green. What kind of automated is that? Hey, you manager?
Daleks do not have managers.
Yeah, well, maybe that's your problem.
Electron energy particles detected. You are a friend of the Doctor. Analysis concludes this is a delaying tactic.
Took you long enough.
No!
Some family included, actually.
I can see why. Yeah, I can definitely see why people wouldn't try to save her just because she's a bitch. But, you know, she says, well, I think after I found a weapon, I would have come to save you. Maybe she would have, you know. I can kind of see her point about first thought going to find a weapon, because if she'd run to save him, what good would that have done? If she'd grabbed him, they wouldn't have been able to get out anyway, so they would have been as good as dead. So I can kind of see her point about going to find a weapon first and then going to find him. I just don't believe that she would have gone to find him. I think she would have found a weapon and then tried to find a way out and let him deal with the Dalek on his own. Because that's the kind of personality that we seem to be dealing with. I like how Dan stepped up to the plate there, like I said, more than Yaz ever really does. And how, you know, he kind of messes with the Dalek. This is a delaying tactic. And he's like, took you long enough. Dan has become really cool. You know, he is pretty badass. And, you know, he commented about, you saved the world last week, referring to the end of Flux, which doesn't actually work, because if I remember correctly, the final episode of Flux, was about December 5th, if I remember correctly. Like, that's when it was set. So last week couldn't have been December 5th, not if we're at New Year's Eve. So maybe it was just a reference, hey, you saved the world last week, even though it was like 3 weeks prior. So maybe that was it, or it was just a error in the script that somehow made it through. Or there was another adventure they went on and saved the world that we didn't get to see. And that's one thing with Doctor Who is, you know, we see these stories and stuff, but I've often wondered, like, what happens behind the scenes? And I'm not talking about like the actors, I'm talking about like for the storyline, like, you know, they saved the world. Okay, so what happened then? Did Yaz and Dan and the Doctor maybe take a vacation? Did they maybe go to a planet and have drinks someplace? You know, what happens with these stories in between? Because obviously they have kind of lives and stuff in between what we see. So, you know, I've wondered that, like, during the quiet moments there on the TARDIS, is the Doctor thinking about how her life is has changed and everything, thanks to the Flux, because she knows that there's parts of her that are missing. She was told that, you know, her life is at an end and that there will be no regeneration, which obviously there will be, because we're going to have a 14th Doctor. So, you know, obviously that's probably stuff that she thinks about. So I think, you know, obviously they can't show everything, and so they show certain stories, but I think that that's something obviously that probably happens and that goes on behind the scenes, and that's probably stuff that derives from fan fiction. People will go ahead and write some fan fiction and say, this is kind of what I think happens in between the scenes. Hey, you have just made a good story that we could think about, that maybe in between this loop and this loop, there was this story in between. Who knows? It could work.
If I set fire to it, will it have explosive and potentially devastating consequences?
It's the same thing Sarah said.
Yes.
Uh-oh. Daleks don't miss.
Agree to disagree? Why have you created a time loop?
We did not create the time loop. The time loop was created by your TARDIS.
Huh?
We caused it with reason.
Dalek cannot identify the energy pattern of your TARDIS and dispatched Daleks to execute you for your actions against the Dalek race.
Which particular actions?
Using the flux to destroy the Dalek war fleet.
Oh.
That wasn't my idea. That was a Sontaran stratagem that I hijacked.
You are responsible for the destruction of millions of Daleks. Your death is the priority of the Dalek race. We will not stop. Exterminate.
And here they go again.
I'm alive.
Alright, okay, Cookie. Reception. Take the stairs.
Really, thanks, it'd be nice.
Well, actually, it's out. My friend Lauren actually says that good-hearted weirdos are actually the keepers. So,
What?
No!
no, nothing.
No.
No.
You need to stay here.
No. Cut. No.
But then why haven't you?
You haven't done a very good job so far, have you?
Oi, I don't see you coming up with solutions.
Yeah, because it's not my fault, is it? It's hers. There's no point us all sticking together if we keep on dying multiple times.
Including the time you followed your own plan didn't go well, did it? Please,
Valid
you
point.
need to trust me. Do as I ask and stay here.
No, you don't understand. Nick doesn't survive past 5-2. So if he doesn't survive this time, then there's not going to be another 5-2. It'll be 4 minutes to. And then he'll be dead. Properly. That's right, isn't it?
Stay here. Together.
I really hope I'm wrong. I know that Yaz wants the Doctor. I know that she's in love with the Doctor. I've not seen any indication that the Doctor feels the same way. But they talked about Weirdo and she looked at Yaz and I was kind of like, no. And before any of the keyboard warriors start homophobia, blah, 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 has nothing to do with that. I can explain more at the end of the video. I just don't ship Thasmin. And so I really hope they don't go that route because it is pretty ridiculous to do it. But I will say that Dan obviously he noticed when that happened. So I have a feeling he's going to say something to Yaz about it. Smart. Good boy, Nick. That was smart. Good job.
I can make it really bad. I can make it all. Oh, you think you can get it?
What happened here?
Don't worry, I dealt with them. I took them out. They're not coming back. You're welcome.
Well, they will.
They will, because the fact that there's two of them means they found a way of keeping inside the time loop. So what did you do?
There was a lot of strategic analysis, weapons assessment, and battle-ready thinking.
Did you duck?
He's using all these technical terms. Did you duck? Yeah.
Saved myself, actually.
Yeah. I mean, I'd have to talk to my insurance providers.
I don't think you'll be coming for an active Dalek.
I mean, this place is all I have.
You don't get out. You won't have anything.
Who is he? Why is he talking?
Noticing my mate, that's my job.
Thanks, Sheffield.
Shh.
How'd the plan work?
Next loop, we have 4 minutes. We divide, that's 4 minutes each, times 5. That's 20 minutes. And we know there's a stash of toxic and combusted materials on the 5th floor.
I like that. Okay, so there were 3 of them, but I like the crescendo of the music with all 5 of them just kind of standing in line. That was a badass scene.
No! That's unfair!
Daleks are not fair. Daleks are unstoppable.
Took her out early this time.
Everything got messy. I wouldn't want that to happen to you, Sheffield.
Okay, so as I said, I've known for a while about Yaz's feelings for the Doctor, and obviously we just had it confirmed. And this just annoys the fuck out of me because it's like, does every single companion have to fall in love with the Doctor? Like, Jesus Christ. Back in Classic Who, you know, the Doctor traveled with companions, but they got along, they were friends. There wasn't any of this. And ever since New Who, there have been companions who have fallen for the Doctor. Now, granted, I love Rose. She's my girl. But Rose was the first, and then you had Martha, and then you had Amy, and then you had River, and then you had Clara, and now you have Yaz. And one, they've all been women. And 2, I'm just kind of like, ugh, well, you could also count Jack Harkness, and then there's a guy, but he's not really a companion. Anyways. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, why does every single companion have to basically fall for the Doctor? I mean, firstly, the Doctor is an alien. So you've got a whole kind of bestiality thing going on that we obviously approve of. And secondly, the Doctor has given no indication that she wants Yaz. None at all. And, you know, it's all part of the BBC trying to push an agenda and push a gay agenda. And I'll talk about it more at the end and why I don't agree with it. And again, before the keyboard warriors come out, it has nothing to do with the gender and it being 2 women. So don't be saying any of that shit. Because truly it's not. And everyone, of course, is immediately going to go to that. Oh, if you don't want them together, it's because they're women. No, it has nothing to do with that. Trust me, you bring Rose Tyler in and I will be on the floor just weeping with joy, you know, to get the Doctor and Rose together. So I'll tell you that right now. So it has absolutely nothing to do with their gender. But of course, you know, people are immediately going to think that if you don't ship, you know, 2 people of the same gender together, oh, you have to be homophobic, you know, when it's clearly obvious that you have 2 characters who are attracted to each other, like Dean and Castiel, for example, from Supernatural, then it makes more sense. But in something like this, there's never been any interest on the Doctor's part that she has shown towards Yaz. So now all of a sudden, because she's getting ready to regenerate, the BBC must feel like they have another box to check. And so they're going to go ahead and check a box and then she's going to regenerate. And like I said, that should have no one happy about that. Now, like I said, I'll probably discuss more at the end. So I like the plan, you know. I like how 13 was all kind of badass there, you know, being and everything, you know. She's once she kind of had a plan and an idea, then she knew how to execute it and becomes kind of badass in that sense. Um, I know Sarah commented earlier about what good it was because, you know, they keep coming back and they keep getting exterminated. But as 13 said, and as I've been saying, that each time you're coming back, you're learning. So you're learning more. And yeah, that helps then with executing a plan. You know, the first time, of course, they didn't know what the hell they were doing. And now, of course, that they know, they can go ahead and formulate a plan to stop the Daleks. And of course, you know they will. So, you know, it's nice to see that each time they're learning a little more, they're becoming a little smarter, which of course was the speech that the doctor gave. That was a good speech, by the way. I liked that. You know, we learn, we blah, blah, blah. That's one nice thing is they always give the doctor a couple of really good speeches. And one thing I was thinking about while she was saying that speech is, what is her regeneration speech going to be? Because, you know, each 9, 11, 12, and probably 13 each have had really great regeneration speeches. You know, and then of course you had 10 with this "I don't want to go," which managed to just kind of kill the entire fandom. Way to go, 10. But you know, 9, 11, and 12 at least have all had these epic speeches and goodbye letters to the fans. And so now we'll probably have the same with 13. But it's nice that they give them these nice ending speeches, you know, telling the fans goodbye and whatnot. It'll be interesting to see what 13 says, if she focuses at all on the fact that that the doctor became a woman and that people haven't been happy with that, or what. I know there was a part in one of the episodes earlier where, you know, they talked about the doctor being a man, and she says, "I've had an upgrade," which in a way I thought that's kind of shitty because they're basically saying women are better than men and women and men are supposed to be equal. One isn't supposed to be better than the other. So that was kind of a slap in the face towards the male gender, which again is one reason I think why 13 hasn't done so well. Let's keep going. Daleks don't miss. Wow. Oh, fireworks are going off now. Happy New Year!
Nothing. I don't remember. Say lots of things. We all say lots of things we don't mean.
That's what we do.
It's like having a passport, of course. So I was a woman. I ran a business by myself for almost 5 years.
Before you burnt it to the ground.
It burned to the ground, yes, admit, but you know what? There's a lot more to that story than you know about. So,
Yeah.
Isn't there always? Isn't there?
well, moral of the story: I have
cute
my
sweater.
passport. So, oh look,
Hello there.
Oh, hi, Dick.
okay, Mom.
What was that at first scene? I think it was more me cute.
So she wasn't attracted to him at all, and now suddenly she is. Oh, cute, I like that with the TARDIS. So, as I was saying before about Phasmin, has nothing to do with their gender. One, the Doctor's true love is and always will be Rose Tyler. So, and they've hinted about Rose all throughout 11's reign, all throughout 12's reign, and they've made references to Rose in 13's reign. First episode of Flux, we had the Operation Outpost Rose, which did burn, but still, out of all the names to choose, the fact that they chose Rose meant something. Rose was mentioned in Revolution of the Daleks by Jack. So, you know, throwing Rose references in there definitely means something. I have a suspicion we're going to see her in the 60th. But, they wouldn't do that if there wasn't a reason. You notice how they don't mention River? Because, let's face it, River sucks. So, the fact that even with 11's reign, with 12's reign, and 13's reign means that they still mention Rose, that tells me that they are trying to tell people Rose is the Doctor's one true love. And we know that she is. So that's one reason why I don't support the Asmund, because the Doctor will only ever love Rose. And secondly, Yasmin just really isn't that much of a character. And thirdly, I don't like the BBC trying to push an agenda, especially now with the Doctor going to regenerate. And this is something that should piss everyone off, because if the BBC does go ahead and actually push this, she's going to regenerate. And what if she regenerates back into a man? Or what if she regenerates into a woman who then Yaz doesn't want anything to do with, or the Doctor decides, no, I don't want to pursue something with you, Yaz, sorry. Then they have effectively participated in the kill your gaze trope, which is sadly something popular that happens in entertainment. And the sirens are going off, so I apologize for that, because it is the first Tuesday of the month, and at 10 o'clock, of course, the sirens go off as practice. But yeah, a popular trope is the kill your gaze trope, which, means that they will kind of give you a little bit of what you want and then they take it away. Sadly, Supernatural fell into that trope because they kind of gave us a bit of what we wanted. We had Castiel tell Dean that he loved him, and then of course he was sucked up by the empty. Dean never really got to reciprocate, even though it was clear. So they did do kill your gaze, because they silenced Dean and they erased Castiel, basically, because Castiel was in the last 2 episodes. There was hardly any reference to him. It's like they were trying to make it that he didn't exist, or that everything that happened between the two of them didn't exist, So they did do kill your gaze. And it just kind of seems like these guys are going to go that route as well, especially because she's going to regenerate. So it's kind of like, why would you go ahead and do it now when she's going to regenerate? So it seems like they're trying to be like, okay, well, let's go ahead and do this to satisfy an audience. And that's why I'm saying no one should be happy about that. And honestly, if I was gay, that would piss me the fuck off. To be like, even if I did ship them from the beginning, to be like, oh, now you're going to give it to us? I see people commenting, oh, the husband, it's going to happen, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you do realize that she's going to regenerate. And they're going to kill your gaze. Because she's not sticking around. And firstly, I have a problem with the fact that because the Doctor became a woman, she immediately has to have a relationship with another woman. Why can't the Doctor, now that she's a woman, just go off on adventures? Why does the Doctor have to have a relationship to be valid? Why do you have to say, okay, well, now that the Doctor's a woman, we need to get her involved with a female companion? Why can't you just have her go off on adventures with the female companion as friends? Why do you have to make something out of nothing, So, but then it's like, okay, so there was no indication that she was interested in Yaz in season 11. No indication in season 12 either. Really no indication in season 13 except for one little questionable part at the end. And now, of course, they're kind of trying to push it because they know she's going to regenerate and not be around. And so now they figure like, oh, well, we can check that box and then we will get this community to shut the fuck up because look what we went ahead and did. We gave you what you wanted, even though they will then take it away. And some people may say, well, if she regenerates into a woman, they might stay together. There's a 50-50 shot. She might regenerate into another woman, and Yaz may not want anything to do with her. The doctor may say, nah, a new body, I don't feel that way. Or she might regenerate back into a man. And if she regenerates back into a man and wants to start a relationship, then you're right back to heterosexual. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, but I will be monitoring the comments, so keep it cordial, keep it pleasant, because negative comments will be deleted and reported. Go ahead and hit the like button if you enjoyed this react and follow my channel for more content. Also, follow, because as I said, I will do a react to the Easter special, which I don't remember the name. I know it has something to do with Sea Devils, but I can't think of the actual name. So I will react to that, and of course the regeneration episode. So if nothing else, you can always follow me for that. You can follow and check out my other reacts. I've got reacts up to Secret Diary of a Call Girl, Good Witch, Chucky, and a few others. So feel free to check those folders out. Please, of course, follow me on Instagram at Lazy Cat Reactions. I post clips from my reacts along with information, and it's also kind of entertainment as well. I might post things saying, like with Lucifer when it won the People's Choice Award for Best Sci-Fi Series, because I did do a react to the season 6 trailer. So, feel free to follow me on Instagram. Would love to be able to get some more subscribers on that. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and jump over to Rumble, because if this video might be blocked, so I might have to really edit it down, so you will be able to then see the complete and full reaction on Rumble, since they don't care so much about it. So follow me over on Rumble for complete reacts, along with my Patreon as well. And then, of course, there is also TikTok, where I also post clips from my reacts that run, about a minute or two in length to kind of help wet your whistle. So, yeah. So you can follow me, of course, like I said, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Rumble, and follow me on Patreon for more content. Patreon, I'm hoping to kind of get set back up for this year. I didn't really do too much with it last year because sadly I don't have any patrons. So if you end up supporting me on Patreon, if you're the first one, I might give you some exclusive content. So there's a motivation. But Patreon, I'm hoping I can do more with this year, have a few movie reacts, again, content that might be edited here on YouTube, will be kind of in its full and complete versions there on Patreon. So if you head over there, if I've edited something down, say to like 10 minutes, you can head over to Patreon and see the full complete version there. And the same on Rumble as well. Love to have your support on either channel. Thank you so much for the Eve of the Daleks react. I have enjoyed the episode, and I hope you did too. I will talk to you for the next Doctor Who react in spring. I hope you all have a great and awesome rest of your day. Take care. Bye.